Right, it's we meet again. It's Central Hill Estate. This is the Youth Hub. It's the 8th of November 2021, and we're outside a residents' engagement meeting where Homes for Lambeth are explaining to people probably how they're going to give them a lovely new home. I'm here with Deirdre, Sabine, who's chair of the Tenants and Residents Association here, and Cliff, who's been a resident here for a really long time. Cliff, do you want to tell us about your experience of living on the estate and what's going on?
Well, previously it was a fantastic place to live, and all of a sudden this company's made up, Homes for Lambeth, and they've just destroyed the spirit of everyone on the estate, ruined the community, lied to us for years. People have been suffering, they've been making people ill. I've actually had a stroke over this, thinking I'm going to lose my home, and they're going to give us nothing for it, or the promises they say is just absolute lies. The propaganda is awful. I can't believe that I'm living in Great Britain anymore. This is unbelievable. Basically, they're destroying all social housing. Nothing's affordable really. It's all to make profit for the council or whoever's involved in Homes for Lambeth. It's absolutely terrible what's going on. But it's the way they do it. It's just, they're very sneaky in what they do. It's almost criminally insane what they do actually, and it's terrible what they've done to Haygate. I've learnt a lot from other projects like Regeneration, which is absolutely awful what the residents have been through. None of it's been good or positive or anything. It's been, I've heard so many sad stories I couldn't even begin to tell you, but it'd take hours and there's an elderly couple up there. One of them's 80 years old, one of them's 90. They're quite happily living there, and this happens, and they're like frightened to death where they're going to end up. And he's got dementia. There's so many sad stories about Regeneration. It's just, I'll dare to say it's almost corruption, and it's a money spinner for whoever's involved, the council. And it's nothing to do with building extra homes. And they're all unaffordable for a start. And it's just a profit-making machine, a quick buck for the council. They've sold all the land off. It's awful what's going on. It's terrible. It needs to stop now. They need to refurb, which would be a lot cheaper than rebuilding this whole place. And environmentally, it's terrible what's going on. They're just chopping down all the trees. They're making it very difficult for us as residents to live on this estate. They put the service charges up massively. They're trying to make it awkward for us to live in our own homes, to try and get us out, and they do any means possible, any trick possible to get us out. But I'm not having that. I'm going to stay fast, and this is dare I say, this is my birthright. I've been on here since 1973 on this estate, and it's a brilliant place to live. I love it.
Since it was built.
All it needs is refurbing. There's not, it wouldn't take a lot to refurb this place.
But Cliff, aren't the council going to pay people who live here? They're going to pay them what their homes are worth if they own their homes, and then while their homes are being demolished and rebuilt, provide them with somewhere else to live, and then they can move back into a nice new home. Isn't that what's going to happen?
I don't think that is going to happen at all. They're not offering the right amount of money. They've hired this company. They're not giving the right valuations. They're not giving. They're trying to rip the leaseholders off and give them a third of what it's really worth, or even less than that. It's a real con. They're giving them absolutely nothing. It's like the Haygate. That poor woman, they offered her 100 grand for a 3-bedroom flat in Elephant Castle, and that'd be worth about $1 million now. And why should I get my flat? Why should they buy my flat off me for half or maybe half the market value, and then they rebuild a new flat that's worth 400,000, say, for a 1-bedroom flat, and give me nothing for my flat? It just doesn't work out. It's terrible for the residents. They're blatantly ripping the leaseholders off and the residents.
So if you were given a small amount of money for your flat where you live now, where would you go and live after this?
I couldn't. The money they're offering, I could not live in my own area at all. I couldn't even buy a shed with what they're offering me. I'm not exaggerating. What they offered my neighbours, you couldn't even buy a shed round here for that money. And I'm not joking. And I couldn't believe the valuation. I thought, are you this is just they can't be doing this surely. And this is another point. I work in people's houses. I'm an interior decorator professional, and I've worked all over London, and I've worked in ex-council houses, and they've done them up absolutely beautifully. And some of them are leaseholders, and some of them are tenants, and they got them absolutely fine. And they've done them up beautifully. And they've been worth loads of money. You know, they're worth a fortune now, and there's nothing wrong with them. But all of a sudden, regeneration comes along, and then all the values drop for some strange reason, because the developers want to get them cheap, and the council don't want to give you nothing for you. How dare they nick my home and offer me nothing for it? That is just absolute. That's criminal. That is insane criminality. Going up to someone. It's almost like theft. It's theft. It's actual theft.
It's a land grab, you could say.
It's a land grab. It's theft, and they're not giving the leaseholders and the tenants the rights what they deserve. You know, it's just chaos. It's crazy. I can't believe this is happening in my home.
Morally unjust, isn't it?
It's totally unjust. It's abuse of power. And I'm not going to let them get away with this. I'm not going to let them steal my home from me. No way. I can't be doing it.
Thank you, Cliff.
Yes, Cliff.
Well done.
Perfect, Claire.
Thank you.
I was going to say.